Well, I'm only doing this a short video. This is gonna be a short one, only 10 minutes. But this was something that during Rwby's break, I'm already an anime fan. I'm a crazy anime fan. But I get into some stuff really late. Like some big shows that come out. Like I haven't watched JoJo's yet. It's on its fifth friggin' season, and I've had so many people tell me you're gonna love Dio, man, because you love Madara, you love Aizen, you're gonna friggin' love Dio in the first two seasons. So I'm gonna be getting around to JoJo now because I really got nothing to watch. But another example is that I did not watch Attack on Titan until season three, the first part of season three was premiering. Then I pretty much binge watched season one, binge watched season two, and by then season three was like on its fourth, fifth episode. Then I started watching that, and that's how I got into Attack on Titan, and I've stuck to anime only on that. The point of this video is I saw something today, and it set me off a bit. I was in JB Hi-Fi, which is an electronics store in Australia, where you can buy all your DVDs, all your shit. And I was checking out the anime section, and they got big anime section there because anime's become, we geek culture, nerd culture is trendy now. So it's like what used to be like 10, 20 DVDs in JB Hi-Fi is now this huge. It's got its own friggin' lane almost. It's that big. And the Rwby Blu-ray and DVDs, out of all these friggin' DVDs, these DVDs are the only ones that have this sticker on it that say, it's like a suggestion sticker that says, this is a great anime. And I'm just like, really? Out of this entire section, out of all the shit you're selling, this is the only one that whoever's working here has put this sticker on. And I'm just like, this show has a record of screwing up its own lore, retconning multiple stuff, animation that's not being finished. It has a lot of issues. This is not like you can recommend Rwby and say, oh, you're gonna enjoy it if you need a time waster or something. There's story, but it's iffy at best. And yeah, Rwby's a very, very weird show at this point. When I'm considering all the anime I've watched, it's like Rwby's like a really weird show because it's like, me personally, I don't want to consider it anime, but if I was considering it anime, I'd be like, considering everything I've watched, and if I had a ranking system, it would be really low. It's just like I've watched so much good shit. I'm like, it would be really low. And this is the point of the whole video. It's not shitting on it. It's the fact of it's on volume 6, and people were like, volume 6, oh, it's the best. It's freaking great. It did so much shit right. And I'm like, from my point of view, it's like it didn't, because volume 5 was so shit. When you like, volume 5 is the 5th year of Rwby. It's officially been going for 5 years. It's taken 5 years to get here. And volume 5 is the low point of Rwby. I will enjoy volume 1 more than I will enjoy volume 5. Volume 5 is just shit. And when you reach a low point, anything afterwards that is good, that is better, is of course going to seem better. But it doesn't mean it's up to scratch when referred to actual high quality anime. And my whole point of this was it's like one thing that's constantly pissing me off, because Rwby has always fallen under like an action genre, because it's always been known for its action scenes because of Monty. And even though Monty's passed away, rest in peace, respect, it's like Rwby has to pick it up, and they have over time. There are good there's average action scenes in Rwby. Because let's face it, any action scene that shows up is only like 2 minutes freaking long. It's like they do the jump cuts. That's what's going through Kerry Shawcross's head. He's not, how can we make a successful action scene? How can we cinematically produce it? Which means we'll show part of it and then we'll cut to something else, because that's what directing and editing is. It's cutting from a scene, going to another one, the different camera angles and shit. It gets annoying. It gets annoying sometimes when you don't have a constant action scene that you can just watch. And what I'm getting at is the one aspect of the action scene in Rwby that I think is just horrible. Horrible. This is what really, I think, drags Rwby down. And it's kind of funny when you consider what Jean's role and Rwby's... Well, Jean became an idiot in Volume 6 so that Rwby could shine as a leader, because they got it mixed up. And this is where Attack on Titan did it so much more better. And it's funny how the similarities there is Rooster Teeth's... It's strategy. In action scenes, it's strategy. If you're going to do an action scene, you can do hack and slash, that can work to a degree, but you need strategy. You have to, because that goes with editing the scene. You need to edit and strategize the scene so it makes sense and the characters look smart. And Jean is supposed to be the strategist, but in Volume 6, Rwby's answer, because we were complaining that Rwby is pretty much just along for the ride. She's not a real leader. She's not a real this, that. Rwby's answer is like, well, we'll take the strategy from Jean. We'll make him, like the rest of the characters, an idiot, and we'll give the strategy to Rwby. Because in their eyes, a leader is a strategist. And that is true. But this is where it comes to be really hilarious with Attack on Titan. And especially in Season 3, when it became really obvious, because it became a main focal point towards the end of Season 3. Commander Erwin of the Scouts is the leader. Regardless, he's the leader of the Scouts. He's the commander. You do whatever the fuck he says. And at the same time, he is a strategist, because they got to show his experience. You don't get to be the commander unless you've led battles. You know your enemy. You're a strategist. But at the same time, they got a young character, Armin, who's a brilliant strategist. He notices small things. He's intelligent. So it's intelligence and strategy that he specializes in. And you can make the argument that he's perhaps a better strategist than Erwin. But this is it. Erwin being a better strategist, in theory, does not make Erwin a shit leader. Because Attack on Titan identified what a good leader was. The leader commands respect, is confidence, has control of the situation, charisma, and intelligence. It's a combination of things that the leader needs to push people forward. And that's what Erwin was. And it came down to that. It came down to like an Erwin versus Arwen thing when they were deciding which one would survive. And I still disagree with what they did, because I think Erwin should have survived, because they need the leadership. I don't think Armin has leadership. He has strategists and he's intelligent, but he's too young to have the charisma of leadership. And I don't, and in that regard, when it comes to an action scene, and I was watching it just then, I was watching it, my TV's right there. There's a scene with Levi who goes berserk on like the Beast Titan. This is a badass scene. This is showing a badass attacking a friggin' one of the most hyped up Titans. Flies in, using his equipment, slashes around the hand, using the gas to propel him in a circular motion to slash the hand. gets behind the enemy. Enemy knows his weakness is the back of the neck, covers that. He fires cables into the back, pulls himself back, avoids the neck, takes out his eyesight. So now he's blind. Comes back the other way, flies down his back, takes out his ankles so he falls down, and then concentrates all his attack on getting to the back of the nape of his neck. That is a strategist. That's a strategy action scene that you see. Because he's taking out all his weak points, then focuses in on the core weakness of the Titan, drags him out to get to his goal. That is a strategy attack scene, and it takes about a minute to a minute 30, that small ass scene. So it's the type of scene you could see in Rwby. It makes sense. But this is where I get in Volume 6. And this is referring not to Attack on Titan in this instance. This is referring to Volume 2 Rwby. This, and even you can go back all the way to Volume 1. The Rwby characters used to be very mobile. Team attacks became a big thing, combination team attacks. And we had a scene of Roman in a mech fighting 4 girls. And they used legit strategy to take down the mech, although it kind of went a bit stupid at the end when you consider that Yang gets knocked out on a train against Neo just by hitting the roof, but she's able to tank a concrete pillar. That's dumb. That's not consistent. But the fact is they take out the mech well. They blindside it, attack it from multiple angles. It's smart. You jump to Volume 6, and this is the non-Monty era with Rwby. Nora, who we've seen to be very mobile. She can jump great distances just by physical force alone. And with her hammer, she can transform it, stand on it, and launch herself great distances. Nora Valkyrie is a mobile character, despite carrying a very heavy weapon. And when you consider she can also be supercharged through the lightning enhancement, she gets even faster. But in Volume 6, she stands the fuck there. They're facing a mech that's even bigger than the one in Volume 2. It's the main option, and she just stands fucking there so that Jean can fucking save her. And I'm like, this is stupid shit. This is where your action scenes make no fucking sense. It's the same thing with the Adam and the Yang and the Blake thing, where you realize he doesn't use the shotgun sheath that he's still got. He doesn't need to go for Blake's broken weapon when you got a fucking shotgun and they don't have their bloody aura. It's stupid shit like that that makes Rwby just fucking dumb. Because you got these strategic things, and you got fans at home. Like, other people besides me notice this shit. So it's dumb. It becomes dumb. And then I was rewatching, what is it? The Saga of Tanya the Evil. And yes, she's overpowered and she's a badass. But when you see the scenes, how she commands her squad, and how she functions when she's taking out the enemy, there is strategy there. The people who create these shows have to actually think that these scenes make fucking sense. Instead of Ruby Silver Eyes instant kill, or hey, give the mech a fucking drill that the mech's not used up till now. It's like, Deus Ex Machinas are shit in general. They show up in all shows, and they're shit in all shows. But it's just one of the reasons why I don't, like, I saw it in JB Hi-Fi. You're going, this is an awesome anime. And I'm like, you're selling Attack on Titan right there. You're selling even Naruto has great action scenes. It has shit ones too. I give that. But it also has great ones. And I'm like, there are tons of other shows that have great action scenes. I'm like, and then just graphics-wise, graphics can make a show. I'm like, why don't you suggest any of these great friggin' scenes? Attack on Titan is currently over a 9.0 rating. It's close to a 9.5 fucking rating. This show might go down as one of the best anime in history. Yeah, but people are like, fuck it. Not little shows, like I'm looking at what I own. The Devil is a Part-Timer, Noragami, which has a second season, which is even better than the first. You got shows like this. You got the freaking Evangelion. You got even the DC animated movies are better, and none of them have this suggestion sticker, but the Rwby series. And I'm just like, out of this whole aisle, Rwby is like perhaps one of the lowest. It may have a fandom because of Rooster Teeth, but in terms, if you were to judge it in the anime community, it's not that high. It hasn't got much going for it. Like, if I was to, and I'll just point this out as I'm ending the video now. When you look at Salem, they've already told you how the fuck Salem can cure herself. The answer has been told to us in that Season 6, Volume 3 flashback. The god says to her, you accept the cycle of life and death. You accept life and death, the cycle. You accept it. You're done. You cure it. You can pass on. So this is just a stubborn bitch. And I hate Fairy Tail. I hate Fairy Tail because it's written very shit. But it's got one redeeming thing about it. Fairy Tail's got one massive redeeming quality to it. Zeref. And Zeref and Salem share a lot of qualities, except that Zeref was handled better. He was never in actual contact with the god that cursed him. His curse is fucked. If you think Salem's fucked, Zeref is fucked. And yet, you have compassion for him because of his curse and what he's had to endure. It's sad that I can feel compassion for Fairy Tail, an anime that just, like all the good people in Fairy Tail, all the protagonists, all the heroes, piss me off. They're all shit characters. All shit cunts. But Zeref was done so well. Agnolia, the dragon at the end, he's going to get fucked over at the end of the show. He had potential. Like in the last... I'm ending this. In the last episode of Fairy Tail, Agnolia lands right next to him. He was originally a dragon slayer. You find out that Urza's mother was the queen of dragon slayers. She created the magic. He destroys her fucking body. It's already dead, but he just destroys it. And I'm like, Agnolia's goal in the series is to kill the rest of the dragons. And the rest of the dragons were technically in the Dragon Slayers. And Wendy and Urza, who are in no condition to fight, are standing like fucking a few feet away from him. And I'm like, you know what, Agnolia? Do us a favor, make this show realistic. Just walk over, grab Wendy, and crack her fucking neck. You're that powerful, you're immune to all fucking magic, and your goal's to kill that bitch. Just kill the fucking bitch at this point. No, series won't do that. It's pulling shit out of its ass. So it's not just Rwby that I'll shit on, Fairy Tail I'll shit on, but at least Zeref is the saving grace of Fairy Tail and makes it watchable, whereas Rwby is like... It's like the bad guys are a joke. The relics are a joke. The action scenes are passable at best. And at this point, I'm only in it for the Atlas arc. I am really curious what they're going to do with Ironwood. Like, I'm invested in the Atlas arc. And I'm hoping they don't fuck it up, but I think they will. I like... From Ironwood's point of view, look at it this way. Look at it from Ironwood's point of view. Ospen's a fucking idiot. And when they show up and they're like, oh, this is Oscar with Ospen in him, I hope Ironwood tells him to go fuck himself. Ospen couldn't save Vale. He didn't know how to protect Vale. He's a fucking idiot. He's a patriot, Atlas is his home. I hope he protects it, and even if Atlas falls, it makes sense how it falls, and he goes down protecting it like a fucking hero. Don't make Ironwood an arsehole.